Okay, let's get a third-party perspective, and I like the passion that Rajesh brings. Most of what we've seen so far on the cutting edge has been on the software side. You're confident that Indian companies could do this on the hardware side as well. How do you see this? Do you see this leading to a greater tech fragmentation with two tech blocks emerging, China, Russia on the one side, countries like India, United States on the others? Is that inevitable in some senses?
There's definitely a certain decoupling, even if it's not complete, between the United States and China. I mean, I just think that's indisputable in the world today, and then that has ramifications for other places. The one ingredient that India also has in its favor that is extraordinary is not just talent and economics, but trust. And I think India's strength in building a software economy that people trust can translate into hardware in addition to all of the other factors. And one of the things that we find that we constantly focus on at Microsoft is trust is something that takes a long time to build. It's easy to lose. And so you just have to stay focused on it every day. But what impresses me, among many of the other things about the Indian technology economy, is not just the trust that has been built, but the government's commitment to sustaining it, the commitment of Indian technology leaders and businesses to sustaining it. I think that puts all of the ingredients together. Now, at the end of the day, you need a little bit of luck to really take off, but you build your own luck. And I think India has put in place all of the ingredients to do that.
When you compare the digital tech infrastructure built by India over the past several years with your experience in other markets across the world, where do you think India stands when it comes to the tech digital infrastructure?
Well, the thing that I would say is that in my own opinion, and this I'll qualify it by saying I haven't had the opportunity to go back to China since before the pandemic, but have pretty much been everywhere else in the world. I think India moved farther during the pandemic than any other country. And the India stack is the best example of that. It is the world's leading example by far of digital public goods produced at scale. Solving some of the biggest problems that every society worries about, payment systems and healthcare, of course supported by these stacks around identity and presence. So this is propelling, I believe, India into a new technology era. Not just having people in India write the code, bring the intellectual thought leadership and energy into producing what the world needs, but now creating technology that itself will move around the world and serve the world well and serve India in return. So for everybody who was part of it, you put some very difficult years to very good use.
What more would you like to see, Mr. Gopinathan? Because when we're in Europe, for example, a lot of what we take for granted back home, and not just those who are present at the World Economic Forum, but even the pakora walas, the rickshaw walas, the thela walas, what they can do very quickly isn't as obvious or simply done in many countries of Europe. Where else do you think the government should be using technology to further improve governance?
It's not about where else it is. The themes are very well understood. Healthcare is very important. Infrastructure is important. Education, taking it further down deep into the society, that's very important to make sure that the level of demand that we see, we get the supply to actually manage that. So it is not about what more. There's so much more to be done on the same themes, and we have infinite capacity if we can unlock it and if we can make sure that we systematically stay with it.